So, Amazing Digital Circus episode 9 has been completely leaked from what I have heard. I haven't seen the leak I haven't seen the spoilers, but I'm like really mad about it. And then on top of it, the irony of the fact that I posted a video about Amazing Digital Circus yesterday and I find out today, like this morning when I arise from my slumber at like after 5 in the morning, that the leak was actually true. Because to be fair, I saw stuff about the leak and I was just like, it's probably just people on the internet being people on the internet, right? I don't have Twitter. My phone is broken. For once, I'm glad that my phone is broken because I wasn't able to see any of the leaks from like TikTok or anything. But now I'm hearing that it's actually been leaked, and it's been leaked through someone in Brazil. From the information that I have gathered kind of furtively, because I don't want to be spoiled. I haven't seen or heard any spoilers, and I'm really trying to avoid them because I really want to see the conclusion of this storyline for myself. I'm usually not mad about spoilers in general with certain media, but I think the thing that's upsetting me the most about this is we just had the Avatar The Last Airbender leak. Was it either last month or the month before that we had the Avatar The Last Airbender leak, and I was really upset about that one. And I think it's for the same kind of reasons, right? Because for Avatar you had that whole thing of we haven't really gotten any new media, like television facing media for that franchise since Korra. And this was like really exciting, and now people were spreading the leak so far. And in my case, Paramount Plus is not available in my country at all, right? We don't have access to Paramount Plus, so it would have been difficult for me to watch it, but I was willing to wait until release to see what happened, right? And the fact that people have already seen it pirated means that they're less likely to support it upon release, which means that the people who actually cared and like actually cared about this movie, like the animators and the writers and the people who actually put their heart and soul into making it, all of a sudden they're not going to be as well compensated as they would have been if we had all watched it upon release. It's kind of that problem with supporting corporations, because do you want to support a corporation like Paramount Plus who refused to do a theatrical release when I'm sure this movie it does deserve a theatrical release, and doing this as kind of, from what I was able to gather, a form of protest? How do you justify taking the recognition and the pay away from the people who made the movie, right? Now, there are 3 main things that I think about and really want to get out there when it comes to this kind of leak. The first thing is that if you see anything that's leaked, right, if you come across spoilers, just keep your mouth shut. Have some empathy for people. Don't go around in comment sections posting about spoilers. And if you see them, do whatever you can to like report or block the comments. The second thing is to support the film when it does come out. Like for the theatrical release, don't cancel your tickets. Don't prevent yourself from buying tickets. Buy your tickets. Watch the show. The people who made it deserve for that to happen, right? And I'm sure that this theatrical release was supposed to be really big for Glitch, and I'm sure other shows I really want to see made, like Knights of Guinevere, are kind of banking on the fact that they can make money off of this theatrical release. And if you really want to be third and finally as free as possible, just get off of social media if you can. This is a great time to do like a little cleanse, like especially try to avoid the short form content platforms like Twitter, I refuse to call it X, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, because from what I've heard personally, this is where most of the stuff is propagating. So try to get away from that, right? The thing that gets me is, like I kind of touched upon it, is that Amazing Digital Circus is kind of Glitch's like biggest cash cow. It's what really makes them a lot of money, and you need money to do projects. So Gameverse, I really liked the pilot of Gameverse, and Knights of Guinevere, they can't work on those shows if they're not being monetarily supported, which is why they also do like the merch drops and the plushies and all that stuff. The money goes towards the studio. It's our way of supporting the studio. They are still an indie animation studio. They are not giant by any means. They are mostly still based on YouTube. Their only mainstream show is Amazing Digital Circus. Before I got off Netflix, I know it was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is. And it was available in my country too, which makes it even more serious. And the fact that it was still available on YouTube, they were still going to do a YouTube release of all of the episodes at the same time as they came out on Netflix. And on top of it, we were still getting a YouTube release and still are getting a YouTube release for episode 9, even though there's a theatrical release. It's kind of crazy. So do what you can to support it. And it really does upset me. I know I'm not projecting anger right now, and that's probably because I haven't seen anything. I think maybe if I had seen anything, I would be furious. I would be fighting my walls. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the whole thing, because I was on the internet a little bit after Gameverse came out. I'm not on Twitter, like really. I have an account, I don't use it, and my phone broke, so I haven't been on TikTok. Don't really see YouTube shorts. And this is where, with the Amazing Digital Circus leak, I find out that there has been controversy in the loosest form of the word, as well as kind of backlash after the Gameverse pilot. And I don't get it. I truly don't understand the drama that is going on around that Gameverse pilot, because I think it was a good pilot. It showed off the premise of the show. It introduced us to the main characters. It showed us their motivations. We started to care about the characters that we were following. And in my opinion, the concept of the show is fascinating. Like, I've never really thought about what happens when we take the main character through the entirety of the story and the story ends. And we kind of always think that it kind of continues off screen. But what happened if the game world just ceases to exist? It's fascinating to me. I watched the pilot. I felt the emotions that I think they were trying to convey. I liked the characters. I got excited when I saw the ending, got excited for a season. That ending scene was really exciting. And I am waiting with bated breath for more episodes. I think I'm more excited for Knights of Guinevere though, because I really love the premise of that and like kind of the poking at Disney and the Disney conglomerate. But I really am excited for Gameverse, right? But then I happened to come across some of the discussion that surrounds it, especially the accusations that it's gooner bait, mostly because the two main female characters were seen in swimsuits during an episode that would kind of require them to be in swimsuits. I think the thing that got me was that people were like, oh, the male characters have such varied designs. Crab Girl is right there. Crab Girl is a girl character. She is a whole crab, right? And I think the more I've seen of glitch shows and glitch media, I think a lot of their stuff with their team is quite intentional and deliberate. So if they have these, what I would say, more conventional characters, there probably is going to be some critique on the design of female game characters overall within the story, right? I don't think we're just going to be seeing these regular character designs and they don't say anything. I'd be surprised if they don't say anything, right? And it caused me to have to like back off for a while, because I was interested in what everyone else was saying, you know, because I know I like it, but it wasn't working. It's just, it feels like it's a crime to like things on the internet nowadays. And I'm not saying that critique isn't good. Critique is good, and I like seeing level-headed and what I would like to say, like level-headed critique of things that I like, because I like to see how other people saw it, like what was the other person's perspective. But for this specifically, I didn't think it was goon bait. I didn't think it was gooner bait or fan service just being unnecessarily shoved into the show. Saying that seeing a female character in a swimsuit is immediately goon bait is kind of insane to me. The discourse around it is just so tired. I'm tired of it. And maybe And maybe we need to start looking at it in a different way. It feels like the whole media literacy is dead kind of argument, right? Because on the one hand, you have the people saying it's not that deep, and on the other hand, you have people who aren't looking at it very critically, right? So I come at this from the perspective of an anime fan. I've been an anime fan for so long, so very long, and I've lived through some dark times when it comes to fan service. Like, I don't think the people using the term fan service really understand how bad fan service can get, because I have seen some wild fan service. The first things that come to mind are Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which had such a good idea that was ruined by weird gooner bait and fan service and lolly bait. Completely took me out of it. I couldn't watch it. I had to stop, even though I really wanted to know what was going on. And Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, I got halfway into the first season. I was like, the premise of this is kind of interesting, right? The other thing is, which this is a tangent, which is another discussion for another time. I really think isekai has kind of ruined the landscape, or the popularization of isekai has kind of ruined the landscape of anime, in my personal opinion. I want to watch something that isn't an isekai. I want to read something that isn't an isekai. I'm so done. Like, I have my criticisms of Konosuba, but Konosuba right now is more relevant than it's ever been. ReZero is one of the only few good isekai, full stop. Mushoku Tensei could have been that, but no. So watching them, especially being a girl and watching anime and seeing what fan service actually is, and hearing this being called fan service, is wild to me. And personally, I don't think all fan service is bad. I'm a big fan of Free. Free is one of my favorite anime, right? And it is just dudes running around shirtless swimming. Now, I love the story of Free, but the fan service is built into the show in such a way where there is a character that really likes muscles, and that's her thing, and she's open about it. So it's built into the story. If fan service can serve the plot, serve the story, and be done well, it isn't always a bad thing. It may be that putting the more conventionally attractive female characters in bathing suits was fan service, but maybe not in the way that we're thinking about fan service, because I've seen a lot of really good art come from just the pilot. That's fan service. You're giving artists something to work with. Not all fan service is gooner bait, and I don't think the show is gooner bait, and this discussion and discourse around it being gooner bait. And I don't know, the most I've seen, I would assume, right, that it's mostly guys saying this. I don't think that it's girl. It could be. I could be wrong, right? But there's also real criticism about the variation of character design with the guy characters versus the girl ones, which is, it's the pilot. We've only seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 male characters and around 3 female characters. 4, including Crab Girl. There may be more variance in design. We have just seen more male characters, and the female main character is an anthropomorphic cat. Like, have none of you watched BNA? Like, it's... But yeah, that is what I wanted to complain about right now. I was working on another video that's supposed to drop next week, but this whole amazing digital circus glitch is having a hard time right now, which is unfortunate, because they're one of the better indie animation studios who is doing well with what they were given. Kind of sucks. But shorter video today, because I just had 2 big points to make about these 2 things that were annoying me. So I'm going to go back to working on my other video, which you will see next week. 2 videos back to back is insane. But enjoy the rest of your day. Avoid spoilers if you're an amazing digital circus fan. Don't search for anything. Do not search for anything related to episode 9. Like, click not interested on stuff. Stay off of social media. Try to maintain your purity when it comes to watching the final episode. Support it when it comes out. Support the theatrical release. Think of it as supporting the other shows on Glitch that you like. And I will see you guys next week.